Hello, I'm Michael Finn, holistic exercise and lifestyle coach, and today I'm going to do a 10-minute little routine to improve knee function, basically make your knees bulletproof, especially as you progress through all this. So it's just 10 minutes. So I'm going to talk through each round as I do it, because you can always go back and watch and figure out how to do each exercise, but I'm going to talk through each exercise as much as I possibly can. And we're just going to do like 10 repetitions of each as we go, all right? Just rotating one after the other, because the big most important thing about knees is improving hydration, pumping the fluids through there, and improving range of motion to get them moving properly. All right, so here we go. So all you're really gonna need is like a step, or you can even use a chair or something like that, because we might need something as high as this, okay? So you could use a chair, just make sure that everything's not going to move or slide out from underneath you or anything like that. Make sure you're making your exercise area safe, all right? So, first exercise is going to be some calf raises, and I got my little timer here that I'm going to start it, so we only go 10 minutes so that you can just do this video over and over and over every single day. Here we go, so we're starting. So, calf raises, both feet, toes up on the step, drop those heels down as far as you can, and then push through those toes as high as you can and bring it all the way up. All the way down into that stretch at the bottom, drive through those toes to take your heels up as high as you can. Big stretch at the bottom, dropping all the way down, pushing all the way up so that you just got the balls of your feet and your toes up on the step. I got my hand up on the wall for a little bit of balance. You could also use a stick if you don't have anything around, but just pushing all the way up, all the way back down. Big contraction of the calves at the top, big stretch of the calves at the bottom. All the way up, all the way down. Nice and slow. I'm going up, I'm going back down. That was about 8. Going up for 9, and then all the way back down into that stretch as far as I can, and then all the way back up, and all the way back down. All right, and when those get easier, you can do one leg at a time. So then we need a wall. So we're going to be leaning against the wall with our feet out in front of us, about maybe 2 feet. Away from the wall. The closer your feet are to the wall, the easier it is. The farther your feet are from the wall, the harder it is. And all we're going to do is lift your toes up off the floor as high as you can, and then lower your feet back down on the floor. Okay, your legs are straight, your whole back is touching the wall, the back of your head's touching the wall for good posture, your shoulder blades are touching the wall. Just pull those toes up towards your shins, and then lower them all the way back down to the floor. Pull those toes up off the floor, and lower them back down so that you're just leaning here against the wall. Legs are straight, belly button should be in, low abs should be in, because when you put your toes back down, your back's going to want to arch. So keep those low abs on so that your back doesn't arch as you're sliding up and down the wall. It's a very small movement, but try to get those toes up as high as you can and as far away from the floor as you can. Just picking them all the way up and then lowering them all the way back down. And you'll see I have not done anything yet today, so you'll see that as I do this, my ankles and my knees will loosen up and I'll get more range of motion because they're still kind of tight because I haven't really pumped any fluid through them yet today. So that one's about 8, so this one's going to be about 9. And then we're going to go one more for 10, and this works the front side of the shins. You should feel them burning a little bit. All right, and then we're going to stretch out the hip flexors. So now we might need something a little bit taller. So the more flexible you get, the lower object you can go. So we're going to be in a stationary front lunge position. So our front foot's going to be elevated up on something about 2 feet high to start with. And our back foot back as comfortably far as we can have it. And then we're going to bend that front leg, and we're going to try to take that hamstring and get that hamstring as close to the calf as we can. And then we're going to come all the way back out. So we're going to nice exhale and relax into that stretch, and then inhale and come out. So that we're going to pump this front knee, dropping those hips and driving those hips forward, firing the glute, and then coming all the way back out. Coming all the way forward and all the way out. Coming all the way forward and all the way out. One other thing I didn't mention, if you have any pain during any of this, do not go into the range of motion of pain. Okay, just go to the edge of pain and then come all the way back out of it. Okay, staying up nice and tall. Driving those hips forward towards your heel on that front foot up on the step, and then pushing back out. All right, so Keeping the back leg is straight. You'll see my back knee bends, but I don't bend it a lot. Try to keep it as straight as you can so that we stretch out the front of that hip flexor. This is probably 9. And we're going to go one more time on this side for 10. And then we're going to switch to the other side. So that front foot up on the step. The back foot back as far as it comfortably can go. Try to keep your toes fairly straight ahead. And then driving those hips forward. Still have the wall here for balance if I need it. And dropping all the way down. Bring those hips forward. Try to get your hamstring all the way down on that calf. And then all the way back up. Get that hamstring all the way down on that calf. And then all the way back up. So that you just drive those hips forward and down. Just like a lunge, except your foot is up on it, your front foot is up on a step. It's really not that hard on the muscles. All we're really doing is driving fluids into the joint, and we are stretching out that back hip, okay? So we should have a stretch on the front side of that back hip. If you don't, and there's no discomfort, lower that front foot down, get something smaller, all right? So that you just drop that down a little bit lower. The second time I'll do it on a little bit lower position. Okay, dropping all the way down. Oops, see, lost my balance there. Dropping all the way down. Coming all the way back up. This will be about 10. Good, all right. And then the last one we're gonna do is we're gonna do a hamstring stretch. Okay, so we're gonna step out with one foot, lifting the toes up. Just about a foot, and then we're going to bend all the way over, grab those toes, pull them up, keep that leg nice and straight, and then we're going to stand all the way up tall. Put that foot back where it was, step out just one foot in front of you, reach down with the other hand, grab those toes, yank up on the toes, and then all the way back up. All the way over, pull up on the toes, and then all the way back up. So when you're stepping out forward, your heel is basically in line with the opposite toe, or maybe a little bit in front of that. So your back leg, you can have a little bend in it, but your front leg should be locked out. Lifting up those toes, reaching down, grabbing those toes. If you can't get all the way to those toes, just get to your knee or your shin or wherever you can. But make sure to stand all the way up in between each one so that we're actually going to stretch out the back, pump a lot of blood through the back, and we're going to pump a lot of blood through the hamstrings. So you're just doing one side and then the other side, stepping out, dropping down, pulling, standing back up, stepping out, dropping down, pulling up on the toes, standing back up, stepping out, dropping down, pulling on the toes, standing back up. Nice and easy, one side and then the other side, so that you should be getting a good stretch in the hamstring of that leg out in front. Try to even lift that tailbone up towards the ceiling, so that we just kind of go nice and easy back and forth, one side and the other side. You can go slower than the pace I'm going at, that's perfectly okay, but you want to make sure that you're going through a complete and total range of motion for you, and every day that you do this, you will get a little farther into it. All right, that's round one. Let's go again. So we're going to go back to that calf raise. Balls of the feet and the toes up on the step, heels hanging off. Drive through those toes for 1. Stretch all the way down with these heels. Drive all the way through those toes for 2. Stretch all the way down. Drive through those toes for 3. Stretch all the way down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Make sure you really push all the way through those toes every single time to the top. All right, there's those. Then we're going to do our anterior tibialis lift. So leaning against the wall again, whole back, whole head, touching the wall. Legs out in front, a good 2 feet away from the wall. Closer is easier, farther is harder. Shoes are also harder. And then we're going to lift those toes up off the floor as high as we can. And then lower all the way back down to the floor. Keep those knees nice and straight. to lift those toes, lower them back down. Keep the belly button in, keep those low abs on so that you don't arch the back as you lower your toes back down to the floor. You're going to find that as you do this, you're going to slide farther and farther away from the wall, and it's actually going to get harder. So if it gets too hard, just move your feet closer to the wall, all right? And if you really want to get crazy with this, you can do more repetitions, but we're going to get enough in, I think, in the 10 minutes. Okay, so there's 5, there's 6, really contract it, lift those toes up as high as you can. 7, and then 8, and I'm getting really far away from the wall. 9, you can feel those anterior tibialis working, and 10. Cool, and then we're going to go back to our front foot elevated stationary lunge here, or split squat, whatever you want to call it. There's so many names for these things now, it's crazy. So that front foot high up on that step, nice and flat. The back foot back behind you. And then we're going to drop all the way down into that stretch, and then come all the way back up. Drop all the way down into that stretch, and then come back up. Trying to get, see, there's my 10 minutes already. I'm going to go just a little bit longer. There we go. So we got 3, 4, 5, 6, driving those hips forward and down. 7, trying to get your hamstring all the way down that calf. You'll see it's a little harder for me on this side than it is on the other. 8, drive those hips down and forward. 9, drive those hips down and forward. 10, good, then switching feet. So front foot up on the step, back foot back behind. Keep that back leg as straight as you can, and try to get your hips as close to that front heel as you can. Sliding those hips forward, driving with the glutes. Have some balance with the wall, all the way down, and all the way up. All the way down, and all the way up. There's 5, driving all the way forward. 6, really try to get that hamstring as close as you can with the calf. That's why I just moved that foot forward, because I can't quite get it all the way there without bringing the foot forward a little bit more. I'm used to doing this a little bit lower, but I'm doing it high for this video. 8, you'll even feel the stretch in the knee. 9, drive that all the way forward. And 10. All right, and then our hamstring one more last time. So stepping out with one foot right out in front of you, reaching all the way over, grab the toes, yank up on them, stand all the way back up tall. Feet together again. Other foot out, reach the toes, pull them up, all the way up tall again. Other foot out, all the way over, grab the toes, pull them up, all the way back up tall. Just nice and easy, back and forth. Making sure to stand all the way up tall with good posture, so you train your posture as well with each repetition. Okay, and you're only stepping out as far as about in line with the toes on or just in front of the toes on the other foot. So your feet aren't lined up, they're staying at about shoulder width or a little bit narrower so that you're on balance, but you're just stepping out to where that heel is just a little forward of the toes on the opposite foot. Alright, that's about 5 on each side. So there's 6 on the right, standing up tall. 6 on the left, bending all the way over, grabbing those toes, keeping that leg that's out in front nice and straight and locked out. There's 7 on each side. There's 8 on the right. There's 8 on the left. There's 9 on the right. There's 9 on the left. There is 10 on the right and 10 on the left. All right, now you can run through that a couple times if you want to, but that's basically 12 minutes. All right, so key is every day. And then, when you're done, move around and see what things feel like, all right? It's basically lesson 1. I'll do a lesson 2 in the future, but start off with that, okay? And because I'm talking the whole time, I even get a lot of breath when I'm doing it, all right? So it's exercise, but It's exercise through a full range of motion to pump and work the knees. So if you like what you see, make sure to subscribe. Leave comments. It's the way other people can find me, and I want to help everybody to be happier and healthier and feel better in their life. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.